Hi everybody, this is Prasant Naidu here from Lighthouse Insights. Today we have Sabyasachi. He is the Managing Director at IBS, and he would be talking about obviously the medium, how it has evolved in the country, and how IBS is doing some great amazing stuff at their end. Hi Sabyasachi.
Hi Prasant.
Good to meet you, and I hope things are good at your end.
All good, and pleasure to be with you.
Okay, Sabyasachi, before we take other interesting questions, what's keeping you busy these days?
Well, a lot actually. There are quite a few products that we're working on. So we're busy preparing our patents and filing all of that. We're trying to set up an office in Singapore. So that's a bit of work which is going on. So yeah, a lot on the product front and an attempt to step outside the boundaries of India. So that's really what's keeping all of us excited.
Interesting. Entire discussion you said product. That word was like quite bold. We'll come to that point where how an agency is now trying and inventing products at their end, which is good for the market. Sabyasachi, can you talk a bit about your background? Background not in sense like the educational background, more about like where you grew up, how was it, and how has the professional side of yours evolved to IBS? So
I'm basically a Kolkata boy, so grew up in a very Calcutta kind of way, carefree, very happy to be intellectually stimulated, which was typically part of the Calcutta and Marxist culture. So right from childhood we were more thinkers, and we wanted to do creative stuff. And I'm sure you know that in the advertising space, a lot of Bengalis occupy high positions. So that's really where we came from. And while I was forced into engineering and a whole lot of science, I think the creative bent of mind was always there. So when I got the opportunity of doing my IIM Calcutta MBA, the first thing that I wanted to do was get into marketing. But unfortunately, I landed up in sales with Asian Paints. First 6 months, trying to sell paint in the market in Delhi was really harrowing, and I used to dream of the first opportunity that I would get to move into marketing, which thankfully happened very quickly. Bharat Puri, who was then the head of marketing at Asian Paints, somehow spotted me. I tried to raise my hands, as many hands as I could to catch his attention, but thankfully it worked. So 1996, I moved to Bombay in marketing for Asian Paints, and I was the youngest guy in the team. And somebody decided that it's this new thing called a website which has come up. I mean, Asian Paints needs to have a website. Nobody wanted to take that job because websites appeared to be the most useless job description that anyone could have. So being the youngest, that's what I was assigned to, and that's how my interest with digital started. I still remember we paid a lot of money to Rediff to make the first website, and after the website was made, we didn't even have a modem to see the site. So it took about a month to get a 9.6 kbps modem, and I still remember we used to click and load a page, and then go out, have a cup of tea and come back, and the page would still be loading. So I've seen internet from those days when a 10 kb GIF used to be called a heavy file. The world has changed a lot since, but yeah, it's been an interesting journey at a personal level.
Great. And how has the journey been for IBS?
It's been great. So I left Asian Paints in 2003 and started IBS. At that time, digital was a very nascent medium. The only thing that people used to talk about digital was making a website. So the journey was great. The first project that we did was an e-commerce website in 2004, which was for Bajaj Electricals. It was very difficult to survive in those days, to be honest, and at times my wife and I used to regret the fact that we quit our jobs and started this. So till 2005-06, it was barely surviving. We used to operate out of our second bedroom. We didn't have any employees. We used a few freelancers, but by and large we used to stay and do the work ourselves. I still remember the first few websites. I used to do the designing, the CSS, the coding myself. So it was great fun learning the nitty-gritties of the medium, which still comes in handy today. So anyone tries to pull a fast one on me saying that this is not possible in CSS, I can sit down and get it done myself. So that's what keeps them on their toes. Things started changing around 2006-07 when media campaigns started getting executed. So we did some work for Samsung, which got us noticed by the Tata Teleservices group, and we actually our biggest break was when we got the Tata Indicom mandate. And 2009 is where actually things changed a lot for IBS. When we got the Tata Docomo mandate, we started media, we started social media. That was the first time that we really started doing large-scale projects in terms of starting the first seeds of productization. And since then, it's been rapid growth for the organization. I remember we were about 25 people in 2009. Today we are about 125, 130. So that's been quite a growth phase. We opened offices in Delhi, in Gurgaon, and in Kolkata. So it's been a good phase. The market also has been supportive in the last couple of years. The economy is looking up. So I think we're looking forward to some exciting times ahead.
Interesting. Just to ask you one question right away, is that you have opened up offices in Delhi and you said in Bangalore, right? You have an office in Mumbai, Delhi?
Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata.
Kolkata, how's the market there? Because you've seen the market very closely. How has it developed from a social and digital aspect?
So the Calcutta market is actually pretty nascent. There are only a few brands which are headquartered out of Calcutta. We have a few ITC brands and some of the local brands over there. So in terms of having an agency to service local clients, we don't really have any local clients. Calcutta works more as an offshore for Bombay. Purely it's a commercial call to lower cost, but more importantly it's more of an emotional call of trying to give some employment to some of the Bengalis over there. I wish there were more people that we could hire there. Hiring people in Calcutta is also a challenge. So yeah, in terms of the evolution of the digital space, both in terms of the clients as well as employees, it's a little nascent.
Yeah, I understand that. I grew up, my younger days were in Calcutta, Haldia basically. I understand, and the state provides very interesting challenges in comparison to other states.
Absolutely.
And you're moving to Singapore because you say that you're opening up Singapore office, right? So is this also because of the focus that Asia is something, is a big market for the digital space? Is that one of the reasons?
Yeah, see, we took a call, we had to take a call in terms of how we're going to grow from here. A lot of agencies, I felt, sold out, probably a little earlier than they could have. We are not in that space. We've run a profitable business for 11 years. Profit is core to the way we operate. We are reaching a level of saturation as far as India is concerned. In banking, for example, we work with about 7 or 8 BFSIs, with another 3-4 about to be signed up. We work with 3 major groups in FMCG. So we've reached a stage where the growth has to come from greater revenues from existing clients as well as newer geographies. Because within the Indian geography there's a limitation to how many competing clients that you can take up. We are contemplating opening up a second agency to be able to handle this competitive clients. But it did appear that the next step, both in terms of the revenue growth that we're looking at, would have to come from international markets. We recently had a person join in who's a Singapore citizen who's the CEO for our products division, which naturally therefore allies us, and he's worked in the Singapore market for a long period of time, over 1.5 decades. So that naturally gives us that leverage in that market because he's worked in Singapore, Malaysia, South Asia, Southeast Asia. So that's then the next logical step for both the agency as well as the products business, which is why we're looking at starting very small in Singapore.
Picking one more question from the answer that you just gave right now, is that first half we have seen a lot of digital and social media agencies being acquired by, if you see from a market point of view, it is a good thing. Everybody is positive about a medium which was being debatable in 2 years back. But then I was talking to some people who were like, okay, 5 years you have sold out very fast at a time when digital is still, has to become a really big medium. What's your thoughts on that? Because you added some line there.
Yes, see, my view is the best of digital in India and the best for digital agencies in India who have ambition is yet to come. And we are still just scratching the surface. Even today, clients are only talking about spending big on digital. They are not actually spending big. We hope that few clients are now actually putting the money where their mouth is. So if you really believe in what you're doing, if you believe you're delivering quality, then there is a huge upside which is yet to come. So even if you were in the business of creating valuation and selling to realize that valuation, probably there are better times coming. But I also feel for some of the agencies which may have sold out because there's always this feeling of if we miss the bus, then going forward we may not get this opportunity again. So some people just say that okay, this is good enough. Everybody has their own parameter in terms of what is a good value that they set out to seek. So somebody who's run an agency for 4 years, 5 years, sometimes the money is just too good, because honestly it's a challenge to run an agency as an independent agency. You need to have clients who are backing you deeply. You need to have good revenue potential. The upside should look very positive to you, which is a lot of hard work. A lot of agencies face scalability issues because they're promoter driven. So beyond the point, you can't really grow without bringing in senior management. Acquiring good talent for startup agencies and independent agencies is a challenge. People want to work for large brands. Senior management talent, getting them to work for a 50 member, 70 member organization is also a challenge. So I understand where the challenges are. Having said that, I personally believe that there's so much more value that can be created in the next 3 to 5 years.